My name's Patrick Rothfuss, and I'm a fantasy author. I wrote The Name of the Wind and The Wise Man's Fear. I've always been a big reader, and once I got old enough, it just seemed to me like a writer would be the coolest possible thing to be. Honestly, all I read growing up was fantasy. And so when I thought it would be cool to be a writer, it never occurred to me to write anything other than fantasy. In my head at that point, there was no other type of writing that existed. I'm a gamer in pretty much any way you want to measure it. I did D&D back in the day, and then I worked my way through a dozen different systems before I found my favorite. I do tabletop whenever my friends can get together. I'm a computer gamer. The one thing that I don't do very much of is console. The last thing I did, I really got into a console game, was way back with Ocarina of Time. But I'm still up for it. In general, I just am not very good with it. I think there's absolutely a correlation between being a gamer and being an author, especially a tabletop role player. Yeah, I think that's a reason that there are a lot more people writing in sci-fi and fantasy, is because a lot of us grow up role-playing. And once you create a character and you engage in what's effectively collaborative storytelling, you have a character and you want certain things, and they go on this arc of growth or discovery, or eventually dying and being killed by something. And if you're running a game, you have characters and you're taking them on a journey. From there, it's like a very tiny half step towards just writing that down, and then you're an author. I've got a bunch of gaming stories, but I'm recently a dad, and my little boy is 3 years old. But now I look forward to when he'll be able to game, so I can play games with him. And there's some games you can play with a kid that you kind of take for granted if you've never been a parent, like hide and seek. You think you do not get more basic in game theory than hide and seek, but he kind of doesn't get it yet. He doesn't get the competitive nature of it. So he hides, he's under a blanket, or he's kind of half hidden under a pillow. And I come in and I count to 3, and then I go, where is he? I go, is he in the corner? No. Is he over here? No. I see his feet behind the pillow. And then I find him, and he laughs. He thinks that's great. And so I'm like, I'm just going to do this with him because it's fun. It's not really a game yet, but I'm humoring him a little bit. And so then he goes, it's your turn to hide. So I make him go under a blanket to count, because otherwise he cheats. And so he has to count to 3. He goes 1, 2. And I'm like, I'm huge in his room. There's nowhere I can really hide. But I'm crafty enough to outwit a 3-year-old, I hope. I find a blanket and I quick throw it over myself, and I put some pillows around myself. And he goes, 3, I'm gonna get you. And then he goes, I wonder what this mountain is doing here. And he starts to climb on me. Oh, what a fun mountain to climb on. And I'm like, he's patronizing me. He learned that is how you play this game, by the example that I set. And I'm like, I thought that I was playing along, but really all I did is teach him a different sort of game where he can see me, but he doesn't want to hurt my feelings. Gaming teaches people all of the skills that they really need to be successful in real life. I mean, you have problem solving, resource management, and it's a really wonderfully and psychologically nutritious social interaction you can have with other people.